Hello and welcome back to the Chats with Cats podcast, The Wedding Era. I'm your host, Catherine Michelle, and welcome to 2026. This is the first episode of the new year, and if you are a 2026 bride, congratulations, we made it to our year. This is so exciting. I apologize for the hiatus. We took like 2 weeks off, almost three. The holiday season's just crazy. I'm sure it was crazy for you. It was crazy for me. I live in London. I traveled back to New York. I went wedding dress shopping. I went to the dermatologist office. I got absolutely hacked up. I don't know if you can really see it now. I have makeup on it, but I got a big spot removed on my cheek. And then I also got a huge incision on my leg. It was like 3-4 inches long. I had something removed on my inner thigh, and that was supposed to be a 2-week recovery, and we are rolling into week 3. I can't work out. It's been really painful, really miserable. Honestly, it's just been really tough mentally. I thought I was going to start out 2026 like really strong and working out and eating healthy and all of this stuff. And I just started out the year feeling really down, really overwhelmed, really bummed out that the incision on my leg wasn't healing properly. Genuinely really scared. I don't know if anyone else feels that way about medical stuff like that. I just got scared. I live in London. I don't really have a doctor here. I had the surgery done in America. And I was in pain. It was taking longer to heal, and I was just scared. I took the bandages off, and it looked crazy. But the good news is that all those biopsies came back negative, which means that I don't have face cancer or thigh cancer or anything like that we know of. And that was such a huge relief because I was really nervous. They thought it was basal cell carcinoma on my face. I didn't know what it was on my leg. I'm very fair. I freckle easily. So getting that all clear from my doctor going into 2026 was like the best piece of relief, but it's still been a really painful recovery. Anyways, that's so not the point of this podcast. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on like where my head's been and why I've kind of been missing, to be totally honest. But you know what? We're back and I'm feeling better and my wound is healing, I think, slowly but surely. Today I did a really long walk, which is the first like walk I've done in 3 weeks. It was 7,000 steps. And I feel good. So I'm so excited to share with you guys about my trip back home to New York. My mom and I went wedding dress shopping. We had so much fun. I was so exhausted though. I'm going to be really real on this podcast about my wedding dress experience. So I got to New York really late on a Friday night. I think I got back to the hotel at like 10:30 at night. My mom and I had a couple glasses of champagne and a little dinner, went to sleep. I was jet lagged, so I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I only had like maybe 3 hours of sleep. And then our first appointment was at Kleinfeld's at 9 o'clock. So we woke up, had breakfast, had a really nice, yummy breakfast, actually, and then went to Kleinfeld's. I was having like anxious belly syndrome. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm talking about if you're someone that experiences that. When I get anxious, my belly is so unhappy, so unhappy. And that's what happened at the beginning of this day. And I was just kind of like, oh gosh, I hope this doesn't happen on my wedding. Like, I really hope it doesn't. And you know what? I'm sure it will because that's just the type of belly I have. And one of my friends gave me a tip that on her wedding day, she took 2 Imodiums, and I will definitely be taking 2 Imodiums on my wedding day, just as an extra precaution. Anyway, so we get to Kleinfeld's. What an iconic spot. It was way bigger than I was expecting it, but so busy, even though we had that first early morning slot. At Kleinfeld's, I just signed up for that simple, I think it was 90-minute consultation, and our stylist, Anna, was so wonderful. She was great. She was young. She was from California. She like instantly got my vibe, and we tried on so many dresses. My mom and I are expert shoppers together. Like, my whole life, that's all we've done is shop. Like, we know how to shop better than anybody and shop better together. So typically, the mother or like the group will sit outside of the room, and the bride and the stylist will go in the room and try stuff on. But I was like, I want my mom with me. My mom will help me get in and out of dresses quicker. She can help the stylist. Bada bing, bada boom, like get things moving. And that's exactly what we did. So my mom was in the room with me the whole time, which was amazing. She was helping the stylist get me in and out of dresses. We were able to make decisions really quickly and not waste time because we only had 90 minutes. To be honest, going to Kleinfeld's is such an experience. And if you have the opportunity to go, it's totally worth going to if you like Say Yes to the Dress. I didn't see Randy Finoli. I didn't see any like the icons, but it was still really cool to finally go to a place that I've seen on my television screen my whole life. But that being said, we got put in a room, we're trying dresses on, and she was like, do you want to go out on the pedestal? We have a pedestal for you guys out in the big room, the main room that you usually see on the show. And I was like, no, like I don't need to be with a whole bunch of people. And then eventually, I think towards like my last 2 dresses, we're like, yeah, let's go out. Let's experience that moment. And I was sharing a pedestal with like 3 other brides, which was so weird and so awkward and like, like they really book people in, like really, really, really. It's a circus over there. So I stepped on the pedestal because she had told me that this was my pedestal, and I've got someone else's parents behind me, and then she comes out in her dress, and we're trying to like, it just was awkward, to be honest. It was not very well executed, and I was a little disappointed by that. That being said, I'm really glad I did it. As the time at Kleinfeld's was winding down, I had really found a dress and an aesthetic that was speaking to me as a bride, and I was really happy. I was like, okay, phew, like the rest of the day goes wrong, we have a dress that we'll buy. Like, this is perfect. But we had 15 minutes to get from Kleinfeld's to the Jenny Yo showroom, just uptown, like 15 blocks. We jumped in a cab, and our second appointment was at Jenny Yo 15 minutes later. Walked into Jenny Yo. Wow, what a beautiful showroom. That was such a lovely experience. I did not like my stylist. I thought the stylist was kind of rude and not very warm and a bit entitled. Like, it was just weird. Like, it felt like I was bothering her being in the showroom. And they also don't help you get into the dresses. So they're like giving you dresses through curtains and being like, here, try this on. And I'm there like trying to put on a ball gown by myself. I don't know why. That's like such a, I don't know if there's a rule against like nudity, but I'm pretty like comfortable with my body. I'm like, you've got boobs, I've got boobs. You either have got them or you've seen them. Like, this is ridiculous. And I need help getting into these dresses. So I was glad that my mom was there to help me get into them, but I thought it was weird that the stylist wasn't helpful. But it was a really beautiful showroom. You had your own dedicated space. It was just gorgeous. I fell in love with the dress there. Absolutely fell in love with the dress there. And was like, once again, cool. We've got it. If we can't find anything else the rest of the day, we've got this dress. It was phenomenal. Then we had another 15-minute break between when the Jenny Yo appointment stopped and when we had to go to our third appointment, which was at the White Gown, across the street from Kleinfeld's, literally across the street, basically. And was like, okay, let's go. So we actually ended up walking there because we just wanted a little bit of fresh air, and we kept on hoping to find pizza. Like, all day we're like, we know we're back to back, but we're absolutely starving. We'll find dollar slice of pizza somewhere. But we were running late, and so we just kind of had to get to the White Gown showroom. We got to the White Gown showroom. I'm going to be really honest. The White Gown showroom was really underwhelming compared to like the places we had been that morning. It was a bit dirty, a bit smaller, a bit less chic. And by a bit less chic, like a lot less chic. But my stylist was amazing. Her name was Hope, and she gave me a lot of hope. The women there were really kind. We had our own room. It was like a really gorgeous room. And this is when the jet lag just like hit me like an absolute train. I almost started to cry. I was like, Mom, I'm so exhausted. I feel like we found the dress at Jenny Yo. Like, that's the dress. I love it. Let's call it a day. I was like, I don't think we can make it to our fourth appointment. Our fourth appointment was at the Lovely Bride at 4 p.m. So like we had been and I just looked at her. I was like, Mom, I'm crashing and I'm burning. Like, this is not fun anymore. I mean, I'm exhausted. And at that point, I think I had tried on over 20 dresses. And then of course the stylist brings in one more dress, and I try on one more dress. And that was the dress I ended up buying. I did not buy it that day. I slept on it for like, I think 2 nights. And then I woke up on Monday and texted the stylist, and I was like, I'll take it. So once we left the White Gown showroom, and we're like, that's definitely probably going to be my dress. I just want to sleep on it because I'm so exhausted. But there's something missing about the dress. It needs a little bit more zhuzh. My mom and I ended up going up to the garment district right afterwards and went to Mood and to a bunch of fabric stores to go look at lace and appliques and some stuff to make my dress a little special. So yeah, we're basically customizing my wedding dress, which is really exciting. But I did say yes to a dress. So my dress is officially ordered, and it's going to be fabulous, and it's going to be unique, and it's going to be mine, and I'm just so happy. But I didn't have this like overwhelming emotional reaction to trying on my dresses. I tried it on with veils. I did all of it. I don't know if it was because I was so tired and jet lagged and just not maybe feeling myself, but I didn't have a crying moment, which is so weird because I'm a very emotional person, and I'll cry at anything. But I'm trying not to get hung up on why I didn't get emotional in my dress. One of my friends, Valentine, had told me there's a chance that I wouldn't. She said that she didn't. She was like, listen, like, you wear a lot of pretty dresses. This isn't the only pretty dress you're going to wear. It's not that odd that you're not going to cry. So don't put that pressure on yourself. And I was like, totally, I won't, but I'm totally going to cry. And then I completely didn't cry at all. So I'm actually really glad that Valentine had given me that kind of heads up before I went into my appointment, because if she hadn't said that, maybe I would have felt funny about it, but I don't. So my mom and I went to a restaurant in the city. We had a glass of champagne, we had a burger, and I jumped in a cab and went to my best friend Paulina's apartment in the West Village. And Paulina is our incredible guest today. You guys, of course, I'm going to start the new year with an episode with my best friend. Paulina is the most incredible person in the entire wide world. We will talk all about our story. Just to give you a quick rundown, Paulina and I met in middle school, and we've pretty much been absolutely inseparable ever since. We did middle school together, high school together. We went to college in New York City together. We did COVID together. We were quarantined in a house together for many months. She is just my best friend. She's my everything, and she's my soul sister. So I'm so excited to have her on the podcast today. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, well, I am so excited to introduce to the podcast Paulina. Paulina is an award-winning, nationally top-ranked real estate agent selling tens of millions of dollars worth of real estate every single year. And as if that wasn't enough, she's also an award-winning movie writer and director. Her debut film has been shown at multiple national and international film festivals, and because she's apparently doesn't believe in rest, she's already working on her second film. She is also my ride or die. We have traveled around the world together, from China to Germany to London to Paris to Amsterdam, just to name a few. We have survived driver's ed together at the age of 16. We went to multiple proms together. We graduated high school together. We graduated college in the same place. We quarantined together for months during COVID. We have been to weddings together, and we have lived through approximately 1,000 lifetimes. Paulina is a dog mama to Atlas, the most amazing mini Australian Shepherd in the entire wide world. She is married to Logan, one of my favorite people. And Logan has taken care of the two of us for over 13 years, I think. Am I right? 13 or 14?
I was trying to count before we started. I was like, we got started dating in 2012, and I was like, I've lost count. So I think 13. I think this year's 13.
13. Logan's taken care of the two of us for over 13 years, and I can finally say that he can pass me off to my fiance as now my fiance's problem, not Logan's problem.
Always my problem, though.
I will still always be your problem. Please welcome the woman who truly does it all and somehow still makes it all look so effortless. My best friend in the entire wide world, Paulina Kessler.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't
I'm
believe
so
we're here
excited.
talking about fiance and wedding stuff. I feel like it feels a little surreal. Not that this is the moment that you being engaged feels really real,
No.
but it's not that moment.
Well, we've literally known each other our whole life since we were 11. And so, like, this is a big moment.
Ugh, I shouldn't say this because it's such an embarrassing picture of me, but there's definitely a picture somewhere that you should just put right here from your birthday party at your dad's house. And I think it was one of the first, like, sixth or seventh grade parties I got
Yep.
invited to. I'm not a looker in these photos, but they're so funny. And there's some from so long ago. It'd be funny if you could find them.
I
So I
can
think
definitely
that's
find it.
probably our first
Photo together.
photo together, and it's a whole big group photo, and
Yep.
I remember exactly what dress I'm wearing and like
I have like hair extensions. It's before I even had braces. Maybe you had braces already. I don't think I had braces yet. I think I got them the next year.
I got braces early and I got braces off early, which was most important. So
Lucky.
we must have had, I don't know, we were in sixth grade, seventh grade, we must have had
I'm gonna find
braces.
the photo. It'll be so cute.
I
So,
shouldn't have said that. I take it back.
I think there's gonna be a lot of embarrassing photos and a lot of memories that come up during this recording. So I'm so excited. But at the heart of this podcast, it's about love and about relationships. And so we're here to talk about your relationship and your love story with your incredible husband. So without further ado, can you please tell us how you met your incredible husband?
I met my incredible husband many years ago, and we kind of just had a bunch of friends in common. Logan dated a friend of mine and we became really close. And then they broke up, obviously, because I'm not that kind of girl. And then we stayed really close, and everyone was kind of like, oh, like that's weird that they're still really good friends. And then Logan would always drunk call me in college.
Yeah.
And I remember that was already kind of like, ugh, like okay, now we're really friends. And then one day we kissed and that was it. And then that was in 2012.
From my recollection, and please correct me if I'm wrong, 4th of July 2012, we were all
Yes.
at the carnival in Southampton,
Oh no.
and you got a text message or a call from him or whatever, and you were like, I think I'm gonna go hang out with him. Was that the first night you guys kissed?
We had kissed once before, I think, but I think that was like a weird, oh, not, it's weird because we're married now, so it's weird to be like, oh, that was weird. Because clearly something worked. But that was like a weird thing.
Right.
That was a thing where it was like, well, like what happened? Why did we do that? Like did we
And
just
you
ruin
left,
our whole friendship? Like did everything just change? And then it was weird because like yeah, I don't know. It's just like you go through a weird transition period of like you're almost not friends for a hot second because you're
yeah,
transitioning. So like you almost like you're not calling each other as often, like such like not as often, but just like all of a sudden you're nervous about like, oh my God, like did I just text Logan too much? Or like da 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 where like I'd never thought about that. And like there's like a weird period.
yeah.
But I think that was like the second time we had kissed. I think first
Okay.
time was like again, like still like whoa, what just happened? And then this was like probably like our first like, yeah,
Oh, that's so cute. So your dating anniversary is on 4th of July,
4th of July,
which I
which
like
is
to go.
great because you don't ever have to plan anything, you
Yep.
know, like you have fireworks on your anniversary no matter what. And we're always like,
For free.
haha, like every year we take turns and one of us is like, oh, I got you those. Like, and that's gonna be the joke until we die. And that's just what it's
Forever.
gonna be forever.
Do you remember the point when you guys were early dating and starting to like kiss and whatever, that all of a sudden it shifted to like, oh wait, this isn't just like for funsies, like I actually might date this person or like this is more serious?
Yes, but it's an inappropriate story I cannot tell on the
Okay.
internet.
Very fair. Was it when we were in Montauk and there was a hand holding moment in public?
No, it was before that.
Oh.
No, I just remember going from like again, like from that like in between period where you're like, oh, like is it weird that I'm texting
Yeah.
Logan? Like, oh, like that's weird that like I feel weird about doing that. And then once we started dating, we were like basically attached at the
Inseparable.
hip. Like we just like it's funny because like I think like you and I have talked about this in terms of love a lot. Like friendship should be the root of it, and I think that's where Logan and I got really, really, really lucky. Is like it hasn't always been easy, but it's been based on friendship. And I
Yeah.
think that's like why the transition was like weird but quick. And like, you know, you have a lot to lose when you start making out with a friend. You're like, ah, like,
Yeah.
it's gonna get weird. Like,
You don't want to ruin the friendship, but here we are.
yeah, now we're ruining it and now we're married. So I successfully ruined our friendship and now we're married.
The best dating advice I ever got was from you, and I feel like it's a relevant time to bring this up. And because I was single a lot longer than you were, because you were basically coupled up since 2012, I used to tell you that, like, oh, just I don't really like anybody. Like, no one's doing it for me. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
bored by them. They don't excite me. And you said that someday you're going to find somebody that you just want to hang out with one more time, and one more time, and one more time. And those one more times just roll into all of a sudden you're married.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you've been together every day for the last
Yeah.
like 15 years and you're like, oh, you're still here?
Yeah.
Don't
Like,
leave.
it's not this big pressure thing of on the first date you're like, oh my god, I know I'm gonna marry this person. It's just no, like I think I want to hang out with him one more time,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you've been hanging out for years.
And I think that's the basis of friendship too. And I think
Yeah.
like I don't know, I think I've only been in one relationship, so it's hard for me to be a relationship professional, but I think like I succeeded at it, you know, like
Yeah.
we've been together for a long time and I think if it's easy, it's great. And again, like not easy in the sense that like it's all rainbows and butterflies and like it's just a walk in the park, but like I think it becomes easy when you genuinely care about each other outside of your
Yeah.
relationship. I believe in Logan so much more than I believe in him just in our relationship. Like I believe in him as a person, I believe in him as an educator, I believe in him as like a man and like whatever and like I think it's about like picking each other every day and that's what it is. You're picking to hang out, you're picking to spend time with that person.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well said. So you guys started dating July 4th, 2012. That was also the year
Yes.
that we were about to go to college. So we were going to college that September.
Yes.
Um, did you guys have a discussion about, okay, are we going to do long distance? Like, how did that look?
I thought it was going to be a big conversation.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like, and it was the end of the summer, and so everyone was leaving, and it was
Yeah.
our first time leaving, like yours and mine.
Yep.
Like,
And I also had a boyfriend back home at the same time. We were having the same conundrum.
yeah, and I think like I had this like big conversation in my head, and like keep in mind, like when Logan told me he loved me for the first time, it was over the phone and I hung up on him because I like didn't know what to do. Like it was just like I got like scared and like was just like "Ugh," like again like that's what I mean by like that transition period. Like it also made it easy because like I don't know. It was just so weird. So weird. And so I thought it was gonna be this whole conversation. I was like so nervous. And I went over to his house and like we are like sitting there and I just started crying and I was like, "Ah," and he's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, of course, we're just like keep doing this. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And like then I felt like such an idiot because I was like, "Oh, like now I'm crying for literally no reason." Like I thought it was gonna be this big to do. And it wasn't, and
No,
no, and we haven't had any conversations like that since. The very one-sided conversation.
totally. And then you went off to college in Boston for a year. I went off to college in
Yes.
Pennsylvania for the year. That was our first year apart.
First and
Um,
only until recent.
yeah, until I moved to London. And then we both ended up back at school in New York.
Yes.
You went to Parsons, I went to NYU, and you moved into an apartment with Logan. And that was really like the beginning of your guys' like cohabitation in a real way.
Yeah. I think it also always just kind of worked out because we've been in very similar chapters in our lives. Like we've been like both moving to New York. Like we didn't move to New York for each other.
Yeah.
Moved to New York because it worked for both of us and like that was where we both wanted to be anyway. And I think that was like an important factor of it because again, it like takes a lot of the pressure off.
Yeah.
And I had a pretty rough second freshman year of college. So I think having a support system at home that was almost maybe like more mature than I was because I was
Yeah.
19, but I had like a real rock and foundation with Logan already at that point. And even though we were in college, we were dealing with really, really, really adult things. And that got us in a really, really adult relationship because we were all of a sudden talking about life and death and like
Yeah.
so it just got really serious really quick. And we dealt with a lot of the not fairy tale stuff really early. So I feel like we got all of that out of the way and like finding out that like we are compatible in that sense. And like Logan and I are uncompatible in every other like factor of the world. Like we eat three things and then we both say like who was everyone's favorite and like it's always the opposite. Like you like yellow, I hate yellow. Like it's everything else we're uncompatible. But when it comes to like dealing with each other and being a support team, like that's like when it really matters and like that's what we have to find out really young.
Yeah.
When most
And
people were like hitting the curve, like we were
not
not.
doing that. You
Yeah.
guys were not doing that.
No.
But you guys, to me, have been personally the most incredible example of a relationship that has gone through trials and tribulations, not within your relationship, but like outside factors that you guys have to deal with head on.
Yeah.
And
Thank
because
you.
no, it's true. And I think I've told you this before, but my parents are divorced. Obviously, you know that. And I haven't had a lot of examples of love that's lasted that I've gotten to see firsthand. And genuinely, your relationship with Logan is my blueprint for relationships, knowing that like you can have so much stuff thrown at you, you could be so knocked down by outside forces and still get through it and get through it together, and that you can like withstand through the hard times and get out to the other side, and like after there's a rainstorm there really is a rainbow.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those people that's like, okay, we're fighting, well, like I'm never speaking to you again, like it's over. And that's not how a relationship works.
Yeah.
Friendship, relationship, or romantic relationship, and you and your relationship with Logan has really been really powerful and impactful for me in my life.
Oh, thank you. I really
Mm.
appreciate that. That's so kind to hear.
It's true. So,
Yeah, but I think it's also funny because I feel like you were such a big part in our relationship. You know, like you really are and still are. You just because you're getting married doesn't mean you're not still like our tripod. See you never. Bye. Having a third person in your friendship relationship is actually super healthy. And I feel like when you moved in with Guillaume, he had a roommate,
yeah,
Nico, and he was your tripod.
yes,
And I think it makes a relationship not more fun, but it's fun having someone to kind of like be part of it, you know?
yeah,
Like you're my best friend, Logan's my best friend, but it's almost like
yeah,
I feel like the three of us, and I don't mean this in a weird way, like almost have like a very sibling relationship between the three of
yes,
us. Where it's like
yes,
I feel like I see memes online where it's like, oh, like you know, like you've been together for too long when like you're like, oh no, she did that and she did that and like
yeah,
always trying to like get each other in trouble. And I feel like that's like the relationship you, Logan, and I have is like it is
yeah,
very sibling
a hundred
feeling.
percent.
And like I don't know, I feel like it's like an important part of a relationship is having that person. Like I don't know,
I'm
like our
so
ski
grateful. Totally.
trips and like all of like the three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The three of us really did attack life together, at
Yeah.
least for a solid decade, like conjoined at the hip. And I'm so grateful for that. When I moved into this apartment and Guillaume was living with Nico, it took almost the pressure off for me because it wasn't like, oh, I'm moving in with a boy. It's so blah. It was like, no, I'm moving in and it feels like college and we're just like all having
No, it's like
fun. And
sitcom-y. Like it's like
yeah,
not serious because we're living in a sitcom. Like if there's
exactly.
more than two people, it's a sitcom, you
No,
know?
it was perfect. So I know that you just said that Logan first said he loves you over the phone and you hung up. Do you remember when you said it back?
No, I really don't. I just remember that moment, and I remember he was like, "Ugh, so what happened?" I had started feeling that way a couple days earlier. Like that's when I was like, "Oh, like we're probably gonna die together." And then like again like the like tension kind of changed and like I was like, oh, like I could tell we were both gonna say something, and then he was doing, I don't know, remember where he was, but he was on the phone. I was doing something, I was picking something up for her, and he goes, okay, love you, bye. And it was just so like, and I just hung up, and I that was it, the big moment.
And then if we fast forward a bit, how long was it until you guys got engaged? How many years went by?
8 or 9.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Okay, so you
um
guys were dating for 9 years before you got engaged.
yes.
And can you talk us through that? Because I feel like a lot of people feel like, oh, we've been dating for X amount of years, like it's time to get engaged. But you didn't really have that pressure from yourself at all. Like you were very like, let's take our time. We're still young. We're still kids. Like, let's live life.
Um, Again, I think one of the things that's like I've always tried, like I think one of the best compliments I've ever gotten, is that like we have such a strong relationship because again, we not prioritize ourselves, but we really see each other as individuals and we see ourselves as individuals and we see each other as partners, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like I feel like we've obviously changed in a lot of ways because we were children when we started
Yep.
making out 100 years ago. So we've obviously changed, but I think like we're not different in our relationship than we are outside of it, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And I think that's an important thing. And I think like I really felt like, again, we got married so, or we got started dating so young that like I don't necessarily feel like I need to rush any of the other steps just because I found my person young. Like we have that conversation with a lot of people now who are like married and have been married for a shorter time than us. We've been married for 4 years, but like are now trying to have kids, and like everyone's always like, oh, like what about you guys? What about you guys? And I just don't really feel like I need to rush because I got lucky. You
Yeah.
know, I don't need to rush the dating part of it because I found my person young. I don't need to rush the engagement part of it because we're
Right.
together young. Like I don't need to rush like us being married and not having kids because we found each other young. You know, like I don't really
Totally.
feel like I need to like chip out on the other things because I got lucky. And like again, I love Logan itty bitty bits and pieces, and like he's my day one. But I don't know. I just think like strength. We're so proud of each other for being individuals, and that's
Yeah.
so fun. And like being someone's full on cheerleader is so fun. And like we got to grow up together. It's like watching like I don't know. It's like we've just like turned into adults together, and like that's also
Truly.
the best and the worst, you know, like
Actually, this is a good question to ask because I'm sure that there's people that are listening to this that are dating their high school sweetheart or college sweetheart or whatever, got together when they were in their early 20s and are completely different people when you're 21 versus 31. What advice could you give to somebody that wants to grow with a partner?
I think it's super simple. Either you do or you don't. And if your
Yeah.
goals aren't aligned, then that's not going to happen, you know? And I think like when I was 15, I guess like my first job, my boss gave me advice, and like this wasn't applied to a relationship, it was applied to life. He was like, as long as your energy is focused on like what you want, like everything else will fall into place. And I do think that is like a relationship is just another one of those things on that list, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I love the person Logan has become. I want to continue hanging out with Logan, and like it's that easy.
So we got engaged, or I should say, you got engaged.
No, this is a good story. This is like the best part of the story because you're in it. So we kind of casually started looking at rings,
Yes.
and then I found a ring I really liked, and I
Mm-hmm.
sent it to a friend, and then a friend sent it to Logan, and then let's all be really honest for a second. No
Totally.
one's husband picks their rings.
No.
Not to say I have bad luck, but I'm not necessarily the luckiest person in our group of friends. So this is a very important aspect of our engagement story and Logan's side of it as well. And Logan, I would also say, isn't necessarily the luckiest person in the world, besides. we found each other. So Logan buys this ring and gets it insured. It's being
Yep.
sent, and we have a trip to Iceland planned. And this trip was planned for a while now, and
Over
it was
Valentine's Day
like,
weekend.
yeah, and it was like supposed to be incredible. Like we had dog sledding, we were supposed to sleep in little glass
Igloos.
igloos, like we had all of this incredible stuff lined up. And a week beforehand, Logan gets an email from the designer, from like FedEx or whoever, DHL, whatever the designer sent the ring with. And we lived in a brownstone at this time, so like we definitely don't have a doorman. No one's signing for this package. And there was a scheduled time that he was supposed to be home. Obviously, the ring came at a different time, and Logan gets an email while he's at work saying, "Thank you so much for signing for the package." Logan has a heart attack. Like obviously, like there's a diamond now. No one has any
Lot.
idea where it is. And we're gonna leave for Iceland in 3 days. So clearly nothing's going as planned for
No.
Logan. And
And he just spent a tremendous amount of money on a diamond ring that's gone missing. Someone has stolen your ring.
yeah, so from every aspect, this sucks.
Yeah.
And he also can't talk to me about it. Like
No.
it's like you want to like scream about this and like you
Yeah.
can't because your roommate is the enemy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he
And
texted me and I was like, I don't know how to help you there. Like, you're
and
stuffed.
so I obviously don't know about any of this, but then Catherine Logan and I are sitting on the Upper West Side drinking margaritas. And at this point, Bomb Cyclone Dennis was hitting Iceland, and we kept on getting notifications that things were canceled. So, first, the restaurant that spins around got canceled. We're like, okay, that's fine. Then dog sledding got canceled, and Logan was like, shit, like that's where I was gonna propose. Like that like
Yeah.
sucks a little bit. And then the igloos get canceled, and everything keeps getting canceled and canceled and canceled. And the three of us are sitting there drinking margaritas, and we get a notification about the flights. And they were
Yeah.
like, it was basically like Delta, like not saying, oh, the flights are canceled, but they're like, oh, like just want you to look at your itineraries and like, and I remember the three of us just like, I looked at both of you and we just like cheers margaritas and we're like, we're not going to Iceland. At this point, I'm also in an air cast. So like we were going to go to Iceland in an air cast, which is also like, I don't like being cold. So not a great idea.
Which is the
So
funniest part. I'm sorry. The fact that you just said I don't like being cold. You hate the cold. You
I
don't even
hate the
really like to
cold.
ski. You're not a snow bunny. Like this is not. It's
Mm.
hilarious that you want to go to Iceland. Like the cold is not your place.
Well,
It's like the
that's why it
universe
ended up
corrected it.
yeah, that's why it ended up working out because Logan took off those days anyway, so we were on vacation and my family was going down to Harbor Island, which we've been going basically my whole life. And I was supposed to meet them. I was going to go from Iceland to Harbor Island and go down for a week. I don't know in what world I was taking 2 weeks off to go on vacation. We miss pre-COVID. And I rerouted the whole trip so that Logan and I went to Harbor Island. So I ended up being there for two
2 weeks.
weeks. And
You came
so
back so tan, engaged and tan.
and so happy. The world was so good for 3 days. And then I remember like rerouting the whole trip, and we ended up in Harbor Island at my favorite hotel, like eating my favorite food. We got to bring our dog, who's like we are those people. We are a dual income family without a child, and it is all the dog. So we got to bring him, and so we're eating ceviche on the beach in beach chairs, and he proposed and it was the best, and like we were so warm, it was right on the beach, and it's like my favorite place in the whole world. It all just like again like you said, like the universe just corrected itself.
Yeah.
And here's when it got really nice. All of a sudden we start hearing about this disease, this virus, and we're like, that's weird. And my family comes and everyone's like, oh no, like COVID's not real, like that's still in China. And then it obviously came to Italy, and then everyone's like, oh, that's a little more real, but like that's not in America. And when we got to the airport on our way back, everyone was in masks, and it was the first time we had really seen it. And I remember planning, like getting engaged, and the first thing I did was be like, I want to plan an engagement party.
Yeah.
And I found all these places on the Upper West Side and was like, this is going to be
We had
great.
kind of started to plan it. We had been talking through it. Like
Yeah,
we,
and like it was
yeah,
all had been planned.
yeah.
And then it was like, nope, like it's COVID. And then, sorry, not to talk about this too much, but it is all about love and engagements and stuff.
Good. That's what I'm saying.
But
You tell me everything.
while we were in Harbor Island, before we got engaged. And I'm not really like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm not a wedding person. I'm not like that kind of person. But I never really had my dream wedding picked out. Besides, I always knew it was going to be in Harbor Island.
Hmm.
And when we're there, we're like driving around these like little ruins, and I see a wedding dress. And again, I had like a hunch we were getting engaged, but like nothing concrete. And I see a wedding dress, and I'm like, that's so pretty.
Yeah.
And I just had like a little gut feeling. I was like, oh, I love it so much. And it turned out that Love Shack Fancy was there shooting their first bridal campaign, and that was the dress. And then we got engaged, and I like the next day I was like, okay, I'm finding this dress. And I was like the second person to ever buy that Love Shack dress. And it was the only wedding dress I ever tried on again because it was COVID. So like we didn't
Yeah.
have like
Yeah.
a lot of options to do a lot of things. And that was the one dress. And I met it before we got engaged. And yeah,
It's so sweet.
that's like our engagement story.
I love that. Well,
So typical us.
you guys got engaged in Harbor Island. You came
Yeah.
back to America. We were in New York for maybe a week, if maybe less. So what happened was is that COVID was happening. I dropped my mom off at JFK and she went to Africa. And then I went out to the Hamptons and I stayed at our house in the Hamptons for a couple days. And then COVID started to get really bad. So my mom started her trip back home from Africa, but she
Yeah.
needed to quarantine. So she was taking our house in the Hamptons and I was getting kicked out. So I was going to go stay at my uncle's empty house and you were coming out from the city. So when I was at my uncle's empty house that first night, there was no cable. So I had a cable guy come put cable on. I was like, I'm going to be here for 2 weeks. I need TV.
And he
And
was going to murder you.
yeah, and I got really convinced that the cable guy knew that I was going to be there by myself. I was going to come back in his van and kidnap me and murder me. So after one night of sheer panic and probably lots of FaceTimes, I called you. I think you could hear that I was scared, and you called your mom, and you were like, "Mama, like, I need to invite Kat. We need to break quarantine. Catherine needs to come live with me."
It's time.
And I moved in the next day. So I spent one day by myself, and then I moved into the house with you and Logan, and we were there by ourselves in your family friend's house in Southampton.
And then we watched, I think, 95 seasons of Say Yes to the Dress, and that's kind of how we celebrated our engagement. Like we did
Yeah.
again, like because of COVID, we didn't get to like do a lot of the steps, and I think that is literally how we celebrated our engagement was you, me, and Atlas, and Logan, I guess, was somewhere watching
He was teaching kids, and we were watching Say Yes to the Dress all day in bed.
all day, all day. Yeah, and that was my engagement party. And I think every time we like cooked or like even put on pans, we'd be like, guys, we're at the engagement party. Like we're having an
Yeah,
engagement party.
literally. So then, if we fast forward again, you realize that your dream wedding in Harbor Island is probably not going to happen due to COVID.
Yeah, so that was a conversation we kind of had pretty early on. We had like, because they were so unsure when they were going to reopen. So it was kind of like, okay, like we can talk about this theoretically,
And
or
they
we
had
can
brides
like,
that had been canceled on that were trying to push it a year. So, like,
yeah, so
obviously,
everything had been pushed a year and like they were open-ended about when they were going to be able to start up again. So it wasn't like we were just getting added to a wait list. We were getting added to a wait list that didn't have a start
yeah.
date. So then we had there, I think it was like June 15th or something. They like were like, oh, you can now have gatherings of 100 people in New York State. So we were like,
Yeah.
okay, like I was my parents and Logan and I were sitting at dinner and we all kind of looked at each other and were like, should should we do it? Like, should we just do it? And so
Yeah.
then we had 7 weeks to plan our wedding. And we sent out save the dates, like virtual save the dates, like 2 days later. And then
Yep.
seven was really important for us. So I knew it had to be on a day with a seven in it.
Yep.
So I left August 7th, which was the
August
only
7th.
Saturday. So it worked. And keep in
And
mind, I was on crutches for all of this. Like, I just need everyone to know that I was in an air cast until the day before our wedding.
I'm gonna share photos this whole time of this period. And this is
Here,
Paulina and her crutches.
crutches. Surgery 1, surgery 2, crutches.
um, yeah, you guys planned the wedding so quickly. You guys really pulled it together, and it was so much fun. So let's talk about it. I was trying to think about what your wedding weekend was like preparing for this podcast, and I couldn't remember the exact like plan of events. So you guys got married Saturday, August 7th. The night before, we had a rehearsal dinner at the beach.
Yes.
And the night before that, we were on a boat. We had a boat
Yes.
party.
Yes, we did.
Fabulous.
Hmm. What a fun weekend.
No, it's so fun.
We did like the whole bridal party the night before, or on, I guess it was Thursday night, we were on the boat
With friends
with friends, like no parents or anything. Like it was just like I think like bridal party and like
and
two
friends.
other people. And then Friday was rehearsal dinner at the beach, which was family and friends. And then Saturday was the wedding. And then Sunday was Bavarian brunch,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
And let's explain it because people probably don't even know that you're German.
So I'm German. I'm from Munich. And traditionally, there's
And
an
you've lived
aspect.
in Germany.
Yeah,
You're
I lived in Germany
good.
for 6 years, and at home we're quite German. Like my
Yeah.
nieces and nephews are fluent in German. Like Catherine has lived
If
with
I'm
us
sitting
part
at your dinner
time.
table, you guys are
It's
speaking
in
German.
German. And so for me, it was really important to bring my culture into it. And you always wear your dirndls, your like traditional wear for some aspect of your wedding. Like it's either like your during your civil wedding, during the rehearsal dinner, like the night before. Some people wear them for their actual weddings or a brunch. So we did the brunch the next day, and actually our beach club that we've been members at since I was a baby, which is like again like another one of like a very special place to us. They volunteered to make all of the German food from scratch. So they made all of the
Oh, I didn't know that.
pretzels. Yeah, so Chris made all of the pretzels and all of the
Aw.
stuff. So that was also really special. And
So what happened was is that you guys ended up planning a wedding in 7 weeks at your house in the Hamptons.
yes.
And it was phenomenal. So
And
how
it was
many
so
people were there?
fun.
So much.
So again during this conversation when we were talking with my parents, we kind of were like, and then during COVID, like everyone got engaged. Like people either
Yeah.
moved in with each other and broke up, or were strangers moved in with each other and then got engaged and had kids.
Yeah.
It was like one or the other. So then like all of a sudden, a lot of people are getting engaged. So you're like, oh my God, like the list is
Wedding
getting
season's gonna be busy.
longer and like this is going
Yeah.
to get more and more difficult. And we kind of had a conversation where like, do we want to be the first wedding or do we want to be one of like 50 and people are going to have to cancel? And we were like, you know what? Like we kind of had to jump ship a little bit with our guest list because again, like I'm German, so like a lot of my
Yeah.
family is German, a lot of our friends are German. Like we have a lot of like European friends that like that's mean to say, but like we just were like we have to do this or
They
else
weren't
like we're
able
just
to
going to
come.
sit here for
Yeah.
another year. And so we had a COVID wedding in the sense that there weren't a lot of like options and choices or a big selection of we kind of had to stick to our zip code, which
Yeah.
again like was super super great. And then
Yeah. There
like
was
it
no
was just
Kleinfeld moment. We could not go into the city and go to Kleinfeld's.
because of COVID, like
Yeah.
we couldn't like try out all of these different caterers because of
No.
COVID. Like there was like one wedding, one cake shop that was open, and then once we decided that we wanted to be the first, I think one of like my favorite memories and not like again our wedding was fantastic, but I think one of my favorites was my dining room and my living room are glass panel doors, and they look out into where the driving way was and where the valet parking was. And I remember just like all of us like stacked on top of each other, like little cherubs looking out the window, like the Met Gala, and just being like, oh my God. Like I remember Kristen Eberstadt showed up in an orange dress, and we were like, oh my God. Like
Yeah.
everyone was so just like starstruck by seeing people get dressed up. So it was also so fun because people just were like, everyone was
So
festive
excited to
for
party.
so many reasons. So like I think you and I haven't talked about weddings a lot,
Yeah.
obviously, but like we've been talking about dancing a lot and like how
Yeah.
dancing is just one of those things that just like it's so fun and like a lot of people are too cool to dance, but like
Mm.
I think at our wedding everyone was just so ready to like boogie
It was the first time anyone had danced in a year and a half. Your
with other
wedding was like
people,
the
you
break
know?
of COVID. I felt like it was like, okay,
Yeah,
we can finally all be together. Let's all dance. It was safe. No one got sick. You did
no
not have
one.
a super spreader event at all. Like
I
we
remember
got really
counting
lucky.
down 14 days and just like high-fiving my mom at the office on day
We
14. I was
did
like,
it.
we're not a super spreader. And I have to say, I think another funny thing, because we were, and you can definitely find the photo of this as well, because people were like just like desperate for work and like a lot of places were closed, a lot of the modeling agencies were closed. So all of our caterers and all of the service staff were all models.
Yeah.
So everyone is just like, boom, boom,
Gorgeous.
boom, stunning. Like you're like, wow, like breaking
Yeah.
necks left and right. And like everyone was just so beautiful. Just like it felt very like Met Gala. Like it was just so fun to see
It
people
was
dressed
so
up.
much fun. So you have your dress. we're all dolled up. I'm one of your bridesmaids. We got dressed in your house. We got ready. It was so sweet. I have the sweetest video. I can put it in of you coming down the stairs. You just looked so gorgeous. How were your nerves that day? I don't think I've ever really asked you, like, because I imagine myself getting ready to go down the aisle. I'm gonna be a disaster. Like, I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna faint. Like, I'm gonna be a disaster. How
Can
were
I
you
ask you
feeling?
like a weird like counter question?
Yeah,
Why?
like out of stage fright.
That's how I felt, but like you just like are you doing your we didn't do our own vows.
We're probably gonna do our own vows.
So I think that also like takes just like I just have to repeat what Nick said. And you have to remember like
Yeah,
I'm standing up there with Nick, the boy who ordained us is my late brother's best friend.
yeah,
So someone I've just been super comfortable with. I've known Logan forever. Like we're in my
yeah.
backyard. So it just didn't feel
I think I was nervous walking down the aisle at your wedding.
I don't know. I just like, and again, like I had to like, I hadn't walked in heels in 2 years. So like,
Yeah.
I think I was like thinking about that and like, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't, I never felt any sort of, and like, I never felt like, oh, Logan's not going to show up. Like
No,
Logan was
no, no, no.
45 minutes late and there wasn't like a
A
inkling of my
flutter.
mind that like, oh, like, okay, Logan's not coming to our wedding. Like, I don't know. I was
Just a
just never
little bit of Hampton
nervous.
summer traffic keeping him pulled up.
Yeah, I was just never nervous. I don't know. I never really like,
You didn't seem nervous. You seemed really calm, cool, and collected. And like we also weren't like we weren't drinking champagne before. It's not like you were like had a light buzz to get you down the aisle. Like you were just calm, cool, and collected.
well, I don't know. I also think like I hadn't seen any of the bridesmaids' dresses together or in
Yeah.
person. Like
You were a very chill bride.
it just doesn't need to be stressful, you know? I don't know.
No, you were
And
such
to
a
each
chill
his
bride.
own. Everyone does things their own way, but like I don't know, I just feel like life was so busy then too. Like work was so busy, my health was so weird, like
Mm,
there's just like so much going on that I don't know. Like I just like that was like such an exciting part. Like that was like the unwinding aspect of it was like planning this wedding and like
yeah.
doing
I'm
this
hope
fun thing.
I'm hoping that the day of my wedding, when we're getting ready and we're like about to do the whole thing, that I'm gonna feel just excited versus nervous. That like that will kick in.
Yeah, but that's why I mean, like, why would you be nervous? You know, you're not gonna fall. You're not gonna like say Guillaume's
If I
name
like
wrong.
my pants
Like,
or something.
that would be so funny. And Guillaume would laugh. I would laugh. We'd all be there with you. I'd my pants too if you needed.
So would Guillaume. He'd be like, wait, give me a second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about that.
Okay. That makes me
Someone
feel like
once told me
excited.
that nerves and excitement are the same emotion, just expecting different outcomes. It's like, what do you expect the outcome to be? Like, why are you nervous? You're gonna look too pretty in your dress, and like we're all gonna go blind. Like, I'm nervous now too.
That's a big concern.
Ah, my eyes.
That's so funny. Okay, but your wedding was such an incredible party. Now that I've been to so many more weddings and I'm able to compare and contrast, like your wedding was such a rager. Like we had so much fun. What do you attribute that to? What can I do as a bride to be to make sure that that happens at mine? Like give me some tips.
Music.
Yeah.
And again, like I think like I went with like a lot of like counterintuitive like things, like things I thought I wanted that like then were would have been the wrong choice. Like I thought I wanted a band, but again, because of COVID, like not
No
really an
band.
option. And
Yeah.
we had a really great DJ and he came accompanied with like 6 instruments. So they did the instrumentals. Queen, we were listening to Queen's audio, but then it was like playing like the violin on top of it, which was really nice. And I think music, like some people just like try too hard.
Yeah.
Like I think there's certain songs people love to dance to, and like dancing means people are having fun, which means people are going to stick around, which means it's going to be a fun night. I think inviting people who you know are a good time. Like I
Yeah.
think like you all know who you are, so if you're watching, you know who you are. I
The
think when you
personality
start
invites.
yeah, and like I think those come when I just got a personality invite like 2 days ago to a wedding,
Yeah.
you know? Like I think you like when people start really saying they're not coming, that's when you get to like pick people to invite who are just really, really fun. Who like
Yeah.
love to dance, who will pull people onto the dance floor, who will dance with your grandparents. Like you need those people because they make it fun.
Yeah. I do want to give you full credit, even though you never posted on social media, so it's not like it could have gotten like widespread from you on social, but like you were the first wedding that I ever saw that had the instrumentals come on top of a track. And now it's
Hmm.
like such a thing. Like in the last year, I've seen it at all these weddings across the world that they have like a trumpet or this or whatever. But like you did this 4 years ago. Like you were the trendsetter for
Well,
this.
we had again, like I thought music was like the music was like the one thing I like really like cared about. Like we walked down the aisle to Ocean Eyes by Billie Eilish on the
Yeah.
violin, and like our first dance was a Queen song. Like we just I don't know, I thought that was just like important because that is the vibe, you know? And
Yeah.
like I don't know, just like having like the guys on like the violin and like the saxophone and like the DJ, and like the DJ was like so like Euro, like he was
Yeah.
like, and then they just like had like all of these like brass instruments behind him, like it was just like fun. And I think live music is fun, but at the same time I think listening to like someone else cover a Queen song is like,
It's not gonna hit. No one else is
but
Freddie Mercury.
but
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think that was like kind of an accidental decision that happened to us that I was really
Mhm.
really happy with, that I at first was like, ugh. And then we had my parents had like injected some surprises in the wedding. So they had like basically hidden people at our wedding who then like broke out into song halfway through. So
Yeah.
that was also super fun. And then I think also feeding the drunk people is so important. Like I think like we had a pizza truck pull up during our
After party.
after party, and like that kept it going for like 2 extra hours because you need to feed the drunks, because or even just the hot people, you know, like we've all been outside and not everyone has to drink all the time. We've been outside and like doing activities since 2 p.m., you know? So
Yeah.
like come midnight, like
My biggest regret from your wedding was missing the pizza truck. I saw it was there. I didn't realize it was going to go away at some point. Obviously it was. I just completely missed it. And then all of a sudden it
we
was
don't
gone.
own the
And
pizza truck now.
I was devastated. It's still the thing that haunts me that I never got to eat that pizza.
And it was so good. And I remember like the three
I've
gluten-free
only ever heard
people.
people raving about it.
And we got like just enough gluten-free pizza for all the gluten-free people. And I remember like one of them walked up to me. I was like, "Oh my God, pizza, that's so cool." And I was like, "There's gluten-free pizza right there." And it's like the flexiest flex there ever was. I was like, and the pizza guy was holding the gluten-free pizza like this, like, and all three of my friends with celiac disease are all standing right there, like, it was awesome.
What was your biggest regret on your wedding day? No.
We had to put one of my dogs down the day before, and that really sucked.
Yeah, big downer.
So
Sorry,
if that
Leo.
hadn't happened, that would have been
Valid.
we had to get a tent last minute because it was supposed to drizzle. Like, I can't cry about that, you know? Like, was I bummed at the time? Sure. Does it matter? No. You know, like,
Is there
I
any of
guarantee no one came to our wedding and was like, I can't believe they have a tent.
No,
You know?
tented weddings are phenomenal.
You need a tent.
You just weren't anticipating a tent, which is why it was like at last minute it was like, oh, okay, maybe it's gonna rain. That gives you anxiety, and then like we have to
Yeah,
put a
and I
tent out
think
of the
like if we had more time, like maybe we would have gotten a tent that was like one step prettier.
Who cares?
But at the same time, who cares? And you know what? I actually wish we'd gotten like a photo booth, like a photo element of some sort.
Hmm.
Because I think like I had our photographer take a lot of pictures of people that like obviously like afterwards like sent to everyone and stuff, but like that I
Yeah.
think like having like some sort of photo element is fun, and I didn't even think of that at the time.
Yeah, like a little keepsake for people to have that says like Paulina and Logan, 8/7/20, whatever.
Yeah, and like people have gotten like so like the technology and like the like innovation for that
Yeah.
has just gotten so far since we got married. Like when we I feel like when we got married it was like just like a photo booth.
Yeah.
And now you have like whole professionals who like set you up in like Vogue cover shoots, or you have like those like spinny guys, or
Yeah.
like it's just so much more obtainable and so much easier to do something so much cooler now. We'll do a 10-year revamp.
I can't wait for your 10-year anniversary. We're getting closer. We're knocking years down.
I
Four
know.
years
Because
down.
it was originally 7 years, and that just feels like a little close. Like, I feel like we're gonna have your wedding, and then like we might all just be
Yeah.
like a little weddinged out for a little bit, and
Yeah.
then before
And
everyone
then
starts having kids, we'll be like, let's have one more big party.
yeah, I totally agree. What piece of advice can you give me as a bride to be and as my best friend?
In terms of marriage or in terms of wedding?
I want both.
Um, I think in terms of wedding, my advice is always stay hydrated. Obviously, that's always my number one advice for everything. But just like I don't know, like I didn't waste a lot of time talking to people I didn't want to talk to. Like I didn't waste a lot of time talking to like the diplomatic invites, like the people who
Yeah.
like were invited because of X, Y, and Z. Like I really, really, really spent a lot of time with you and
Yeah.
like we danced together a lot. Yeah, like I didn't waste a lot of time like going to every table and talking to like the cousin of the cousin's brother, sister's
Yeah.
mother. Like again, you're all here, so like we clearly have love for you, but like I've paid too much money for small talk, you know?
Yeah.
Like I
You
want
were
to
there to
like
have
dance
fun.
and have fun and like so that would be my advice for the wedding. I think just like I think my dating advice stays true. I think just like as long as you like keep on wanting to enjoy each other's company, and I think like drink the same wine, but like drink from two different cups. Like share,
Mm,
but don't be everything to each other. Like be there
yeah.
to like support each other and like be, but don't become the same person, you
I
know?
love
And I think like staying who you are in a relationship only makes you stronger and only makes your relationship stronger.
mm,
You know, so I think like your identity of self is like one of the most important parts of like your relationship's identity.
I love that.
You know?
Well
Does that make
worded.
sense?
Yeah. There's several things that I'm going to be stealing from your wedding and applying to mine. One, love the brass band playing over music.
So
Two,
fun.
I love that you guys didn't do a sweetheart table and that you not only didn't do a sweetheart table, but you didn't do a family table. Like, it's not like you sat with your family. You and Logan had your own table with your friends, which
Yeah.
was so nice and was so much fun. And of course, like, we mingled with everybody, but it was really nice that you had a table with like a group of friends. And then obviously the late night snacks. I'll be stealing that idea as well. What else am I going to steal from you? Hopefully, your beauty and your peace and calmness.
Yeah, and I think again it's a party and like
Oh,
just
I
have
have a
fun.
question. Why did you decide not to write your own vows?
Um
And did you guys exchange vows privately?
Logan's obsessed with me. I and this is a hot take and people might
Yeah.
not like this. So don't cancel me, but cancel me. Um, I think it's disgusting, and it's mostly men, actually. I think it's disgusting when you like can hear people like,
Oh my God,
and so
that's my
like when
favorite
people,
part of a
ugh,
wedding.
no, I hate that. And then you hear like the, and then you, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't need to know you had COVID 6 weeks ago. Like I didn't need to know you were sick.
Oh my God.
And it's just like gross and like I don't know, unless you're like
Too
your
PDA for you.
yours are gonna be great, but like unless you're like that's like your thing and like writing is like your thing or like
Yeah.
which yours is like that
Yeah.
is your thing. Like I don't know how games are gonna be to be really
We
honest. You
write we
usually have
write
to
each other
worry. You have to worry about the men, not the women. The
we
women
do
aren't
write
the
each
problem.
other. Yeah, we do write each other a lot of notes. Like, I even have on my desk. Well, I don't want to move it. It's gonna move the light. But like, this isn't when he actually asked me to marry him, but he like asked me to marry him on a note that says like, "Hi," says, "Hey, my little princess, I have a question for you. Would you marry me for reals? Because I love you more than anything."
Yeah, so that's the real
For real,
indicators. Vows are gonna be sick.
REALZ, because that's how we spell reals.
Yeah, but then like I've heard really beautiful vows. Like we went to a wedding in California and it was a really intimate little wedding and it was gorgeous and the fiance, the now husband wrote a poem and it was like all of us were just like
Oh,
I've never felt love before if that's love. Like so I think it goes both ways. Like good
yeah.
vows are incredible. And why didn't we do ours? I think it's also like this sounds weird, but I think it's very American.
Mm.
Like usually like in Europe you get married at a church and you repeat what the
Yeah,
church
yeah,
man
yeah.
says and like that's
Much more
it. Like I
religious
think
in
it's like
England.
much like it's very American.
Mm.
It's like
We have
my
a
parents
life.
didn't do it, my
Yeah.
sister didn't do it. Like none of the weddings I've like
Gone to in Europe did it.
yeah, so it's like I think it's just like very it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And so, yeah.
That is another advice. Keep your ceremony like civil. Like keep it like humane. Like don't do like a whole hour. Like it's fine.
So I'm gonna riddle off Paulina's pet peeves about weddings that I can think of. Reading off of a cell phone for a speech.
Oh yeah. Oh, daddy, that's bad.
Men crying or showing any
Uh-huh.
sort of emotion.
Any emotion.
If I can hear your snot, like, get it together.
Ugh.
That's really it.
I think that covers it. I think that's it. I
Yeah,
think that's really. But the phone.
is a
Ugh.
big one.
Ugh.
Like, don't ever
Ugh.
read off of a phone at a wedding. What are you guys doing?
Don't bring your phone. Your phone should not be in a single picture. Of Wedding photos should be timeless. It should be able to be from any time in history. No phones, no nothing.
Yeah, if you're giving a best man speech, a best maid of honor speech, whatever, do not have your phones out.
No
And you know
phones.
what? My hot take is that I don't think we're gonna do speeches. Like we might do like my dad might give a speech, but I don't think we're gonna have like I don't think we're doing speeches like that. Like let's just keep the party going. Let's dance
Yeah,
because it can go so wrong so quickly.
I don't know. I think it's 2020, whatever it is. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, you know?
Yeah,
You
totally.
can just do whatever you want and no one cares.
Well, Paulina Kessler, this has been an
We're all just
absolute
here for a
pleasure.
good time.
I
Oh,
love you so
question
much.
for you. So this
Sure.
is something that I also did like a little alternatively.
Sure.
Are you going to do something to consider is like how you do photos? Because like a lot of people will leave the party and go do photos like during cocktail hour, and like
Mm.
that's something I really didn't want to do because like finger foods are my fave.
We will not be doing a first look,
Yeah.
and because I want the drama, you know. And I
Yeah.
do. He better have snot coming out of his nose. I'm gonna be really pissed. I'm gonna turn around if he's not crying, to be honest.
I'll tell
Um,
him.
yeah, we're not gonna do first look, and I think that we're going to do kind of what you did, which is like take 5 minutes, take a couple photos, and get to the party because we just
Yeah,
want to party. And to be honest, we don't really want to have a whole bunch of staged photos. We just kind of want photos to capture
that's
the
what we
night versus
did.
us being like all editorial and whatever. So we'll take probably 5-10 minutes right after, immediately after the ceremony with family, take those photos and get right to the party
That's what we
and
did
enjoy
too.
cocktail hour. Yeah.
Because I think that's like also like that's like not when I had some of the most fun, but like that is like a really fun
Yeah.
part of it. Because like then you're like so high on like
Yeah. We did it.
you're just like vibrating and like it's like such
Yeah.
a fun energy to share with other people too. And like people are like so high on your love at that exact moment that it's just like such a fun like
Yeah, no, we want to be a part of it. We don't need to have a whole bunch of editorial photos of us. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to do a photo shoot. I just want to go have fun and have the photographer capture us having fun.
well, there will be like plenty. There's like it's like 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like if they don't get a single good photo or enough for like a photo album, like
We have a different problem. Maybe I'm so ugly I break the lens or
that's
something.
exactly what it's gonna be. First, you're gonna break the lens from being so. You're gonna break all of our eyes being so beautiful, and every camera is gonna break because you're so ugly.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we'll
It's called
see. Well,
science.
we're gonna have the best weekend,
Do
hopefully.
you have any fears? Like, do you have any like things like as like a bride to be? Like, is there anything where you're like, oh, like what are your
My biggest fears are getting down the aisle and not fainting or having a panic attack up at the altar or down the aisle. That's the second the ceremony's done, I'm gonna be absolutely fine. I'm just gonna be really anxious leading up to it, I think.
just think about how embarrassing that would be. So just don't do it.
No, I know.
It's that easy. Just don't do it. It would be
I
so
keep
embarrassing.
I keep asking G, I'm like, are you nervous about this? He was like, no. And he was like, and if you pull some shit on the wedding day,
We're all gonna be pissed.
I know. And it's gonna be fine. Because I'm gonna have you and I'm gonna have my mom and like it'll be wonderful. But
And you're not getting your legs removed. Like you're getting married.
it is the thing I am the most nervous about because when I get anxious, like I can hear my heartbeat in my ears. Like I get really flushed. I get like that really makes me nervous. Oh, so I'm a very sweaty girl. So like I'm nervous about like having like the big sweat stains on the dress and stuff. Like I'm or underneath my boobs. When we were at the Hampton Classic a couple years ago and I had like boob sweat underneath my boobs.
Hmm.
Like I'm
I mean,
I'm thinking about
no.
I was in like the porter potty at the Hampton Classic trying to dry myself off. So that I think that that's what I'm most nervous about. But once my like nervous system relaxes, I'll be fine.
It'll be great. It's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just want to say, Paulina, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your story about love. Thank you for being my best friend for decades. Thank you for just being incredible. Like I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited to have you at my wedding. I'm so blessed that I was able to be at yours and continue to walk through life by your side.
Right back at you. Thank you for being such a big part of my story.